In this video, I'm going to show some alternatives to the foot pump exercise that's commonly done for people that are stuck in bed and need to keep working on their calves. Now, for those of you who don't know, the foot pump exercise is basically when you move your foot back and forth. I made a video before on how to do exercises when you're bedbound, or certain things you can do to keep your body in shape. One of them was the foot pump. It's extremely popular. However, like any exercise, it has its disadvantages. So I'm going to show some ways you can modify it to make it a little more easier on the ankle or perhaps other areas of the body. And importantly, you do have to check with your physician or your medical provider before doing this, because I do not know the exact reason you were in bed. But with that being said, we'll get into it. So one of the biggest problems with doing foot pumps is actually people move the feet really quickly, and sometimes that can cause a lot of strain on things. So oftentimes just slowing it down will make it a lot easier in itself. That said, assuming you've tried that already, another alternative you can do is you can take a bed sheet or towel. Make sure it's something nice and long, and you should have this close to your bedside so you can get it. And you're just going to hook it onto the back of your foot. This is pretty bulky, so I'm going to try my best to show you here. But basically, imagine this. I'll roll it up here so you can see. You're going to put it on the top of your foot right there. I'm actually going to show this with a belt so you can see a little more clearly. You're basically going to put this on the top of your foot. Only instead of doing the foot pump where you're going all the way down, we're going to do what they call isometric exercises. So basically, you just pull against your foot and then you push your foot like you're pushing on a gas pedal, but you don't actually try to move it down. You just hold it there. You should start with your foot up as high as you can. Push there, hold for 5 seconds, and relax. Then you move down. Then you move your foot down a little bit, just about a couple inches forward, and then you press again and hold for 5 seconds, just like that. Now, of course, you can do this while lying down. I'm just showing you up here to demonstrate. As soon as you hold for 5 seconds, you want to bring it down another notch and hold for 5 seconds right there. And you basically keep going about 2 inches down, holding for 5 seconds each time, until you get to the furthest point you can get to. If you're doing this on your back, you may have to bend your knee up a little bit. That's totally fine. Just make sure you have your knee well stabilized, and you can do the exact same thing from this position right here. The idea with this is often taking away the movement will take away the strain on the joint itself. Now, the second alternative you can do is while you're laying down, you can do them 1 foot at a time instead of doing both at once. So you would take your right leg or your left leg and put it over the other leg. Now you have a lot more freedom for that heel to move. One of the biggest problems, especially if people get bed sores on their heels or anything like that, is that friction against the bed may cause a lot of trouble. So by putting it on top right here, you can actually proceed to do your foot pumps at whatever speed is comfortable. Only in this case, it's not as, the force isn't countered by a ton of other things, let's just say. You can do the exact same motions. You can even do some circles or any other thing you want to do if you want to be creative about it. Then once you're done, you can do the exact same thing on the other side. Now, if you do want to make this a little more challenging and a little more fun, you can flex the calf, similar to the way that one would flex their bicep if they were looking in the mirror, if you're trying to make it as big as possible. You flex the calf and you basically hold it right here. You can see my calf kind of pop out like that. The way you do that is you literally imagine somebody's grabbing you by the foot and they're trying to wrestle your foot, and you're trying to keep that foot from being moved. So if you imagine a hand just going right here, trying to move it around, you're going, no, I'm not letting you move it. You tense it up right here. And where this comes into the exercise is just by tensing that, you can actually start to do little foot pumps while you keep it tense. So you should feel that muscle's nice and tight in that when you're doing that. And then as you flex your foot back and forth, try to maintain that tightness all the way through. This will make it feel like you're doing way more reps or way more effort than you normally would just by doing the traditional foot pumps. With this, I would start with very short motions where you're not going the whole entire way up and the whole way down. That said, if you do want to make it more challenging, you certainly can maintain the tension while going all the way up and all the way down. Now, the last modification you can do to still work your calves without doing the traditional foot pump is to literally use your toes to drag your foot forward. So how this would work is you basically curl your toes into the bed and then you use it to drag your heel forward and ultimately your whole foot. Even for those who are in really good shape, this is going to be a very slow exercise. Ideally, you want to keep going until you are able to straighten your knee out entirely. But that said, if you are starting to feel fatigued, just take a few seconds rest. You shouldn't feel any big muscle cramps or anything when you're doing this. The big idea with this is you're strengthening those muscles in the foot that go all the way up to the calf, only you're not putting as much force directly through the ankle joint. It's coming more from the toes themselves, and you're still getting that muscle pumping effect. In fact, this is really good, especially for those people who are trying to prevent blood clots, because it does stimulate the deeper muscles in the calf. So you can help improve circulation even better. I hope those tips helped with some alternatives to doing the foot pump exercise. Please comment, like, subscribe, and let the world know about me, and I'll see you next time.